Hello everyone, you are welcome to Anchor Network where you get reliable and authentic news that are so crucial to you. I say big thank you to everyone who has been part of this channel and who has taken time to subscribe. And if you are yet to subscribe, I say please click the red subscribe button and also the bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to get notified anytime we publish any news. And also, I would like you to look at the screen. There's a website address there that I would like you to visit and you'll be glad you did that. Thank you very much. Sambisa a good place to set up Ruga, says Governor Obaseki. Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State on Tuesday stated clearly that the state has no land to give the federal government for his proposed Ruga settlement for herders. The governor made this known in a lecture titled The Challenges of Pastoralism and International Migration for Sustainable Peace and Development in Nigeria, Edo State's Experience, which he delivered to participants at an Executive Intelligence Management course 12 in Abuja. Obaseki pointed out the federal government could create a grazing reserve in Sambisa forest for herders. The Sambisa Grazing Reserve, which has 4,800 acres, is an ideal and symbolic place to take off by establishing a ranch run by the military. It would significantly improve the security situation in the zone and encourage cooperation between pastoralists and the military. In the northwest, the military should also be encouraged to create ranches in the Gidan Gaga Jaja grazing reserves, which is about 565,000 acres, for the same purpose of improving security and cooperation with pastoralists, he stated. For us, because it is business like any other private business, the state should not really have much to do except we create an enabling environment for those people we want to invest in livestock business. So the issue of giving state land for livestock, it won't happen in Edo State, Obaseki added. Individuals who have land and they want to go into livestock business, like we are supporting people who are doing cassava and others, we as the government, we support them, he said. As for some elders perpetrating evil in their host communities, Obaseki said there are those who were more into crime than the business of cattle rearing. In Edo State, we have found so-called herdsmen with maps in the forest. They clearly cannot be herdsmen who are dependent on their livelihood from their animal assets. That cannot be. I think it is important in the context of this discourse to make that distinction between conflicts as a result of economic activities separate from the deliberate conflict that is related to other issues like insurgency and terrorism. You have issue of pastoralists or herders who have come to parts of the South Edo State over the years using grazing routes. They have always interacted with the communities. They have always had economic arrangements with those communities, and because of the socio-political structures, when they come into the communities, the first thing they do is to go and look for the chief or the leader in the community, announce their presence and go into economic arrangements. Unfortunately, because of the breakdown of that social structure within the S-men arrangement, we found out that some of the young men who they give the cattle coming into communities without respecting this arrangement that has been in place, they cause conflict within those communities. They have always had conflict resolution mechanisms. I think this is a good one from the governor, but in a clear terms, is anything called Ruga is not allowed in Edo State, and he's trying to give a background of how these S-men, they've really been working. Just like he said, once they come to a community, they will go and meet the elders or the leaders of that community that, this is our, we have come, just to register their presence. And that has been ongoing. And that's why people are finding it difficult to be able to relate what is happening, talking about Fulani S-men killing people and all of that. And the most important thing and the troubling thing about that thing is that the government is not even helping matter. And just like he said, if you have been doing something for a very long time, you have been coordinated doing some kind of a thing, following due process, just like the S-men, the Fulani S-men, just like they have been doing right from time immemorial. And if at the end of the day, maybe at some point, the new generation, that you are building up, as Esme, if you are not carrying them along, if you don't let them know what has been on ground, I think maybe over familiarity, or people just taking things for granted, and the way at which those communities were really operating then, maybe familiarity will be just like, okay, just continue. We've been seeing a lot of them, maybe right from time, we have this cordial relationship with them, and at the end of the day, because of that familiarity, a lot of people have really come in, and they are using that thing to commit havoc. And from what people are saying, these guys are coming from all the way from the neighboring countries, and because our borders are really porous, illegal borders, that even the government is not even checking it, because if the government is checking in all of those things, that nobody can just come into the country, even if you have a access to come as as like an African from other countries. There's a way you need to come in. You can't just say because I am going to Ghana and all of that. There's a way, even when you're going through land. I think they have borders that you show your passports and all of that, let alone when you go with plane. So those people that are coming in, mingling themselves with the S-men because they are coming from this, I think they've really spoiled the whole thing for the Fulani S-men. But the mistake they themselves are making is that they would have like, put more effort and, cry to government that these people that are using us, as bad people, they're using our name and our identity to commit this evil. Let us fish them out and let's the government bring them to book. But no, they leave that in. They are saying something different, that they have to make sure that the government must make sure that they establish Ruga all over the country. So what do you expect people to think about you? Because the thing that is giving you bad name, that other people don't really want to really accept you or accept your program, those are the things that you really need to fight against first. By the time you regain the confidence from the people now know, oh, these people are really genuine. There's some people behind this all this old saga. But now you are not doing that. You are just giving ultimatum that it has to be, that you have to move freely. It doesn't work that way. Then people will automatically believe that, okay, you guys are the ones doing this kind of thing. And most of the time their statement is not really helping matter, because they talk arrogantly and they talk overboard, and you don't expect people to really believe you, or you want to for people to gain your trust. It's not going to happen. But just like the governor of Edo State has said that there is nothing like giving the federal government land to be able to do all of those things, that they are helping other farmers, other people that into cassava, if there's a way they can support them. Like everybody knows, unless people are just really trying to be economical with the truth, everybody knows that when it comes to this cattle rearing, it's not a national career, it's a private business. And if they come as a group and they want to go to the bank, they to get some things, it's a different thing. Not that the federal government will not be the one to spearhead this whole thing. And that is why people are really like, you can't be doing these things. Let the people speak for themselves. They have union, and which is applicable to all other businesses that we have around. Everybody, all those businesses, they have unions, they have leaders that can really speak on their behalf, that this is what we want, this is what we we don't want, these are the areas that we really need your help, these are the areas we need you guys to come in, as government. Those are the things that are supposed to be talking at that level. But when you are bringing it as a policy, from the side of the government, people will not want to take that. And I believe if really even the Fulani S-men, if they had done the necessary things, just like I said, for them to be able to clear those areas, people that are using their names to commit a havoc, it would have been a different thing. Because I know the Southerners, they are so liberal, just everybody, let's do things together, in as much it's going to bring peace, and it's going to bring love and development to us. Why not? But when you have your actions are suggesting something different, nobody will want to go along with you in that manner. And like the governor said, that they have massive lands. They have it. They are safe. They've been saying it. You have land. You have all it takes. And they are telling them, go to Sambisa. You have a lot of land that you cultivate, or you do all manner of things that you want to do there. And some days ago, the army is saying, Bruta is saying that they want to implement ranches all over across the country. People were like, are these guys for real? So if really you want to do that, you have massive land, you can go there. This issue of insurgency and all of that, you'll be able to deal with that, because that place, you must have used it, you must have established that place, for this cattle rearing of a thing, and there will be no hiding place for all these bandits, all this Boko Haram to be able to operate, because the whole place will be occupied and the whole place will be booming. If government wants to support them to make it a big business, they have much land. So, but for you to say it has to be all over the country, that is why people are saying no. There's more to this thing that you are talking about. And even if you have a clean heart, or maybe you have a genuine reason for implementing Ruga across the country, it shouldn't be something that you are going to be like, okay, it has to be enforced or it has to be all over the place, because it's not a national career. It's not a national career that you want to establish. There are some things that can even give us prestige outside the country. Not say cattle of a thing. You want to just to make the country a cattle country. So, guys, that's just my opinion concerning what Obaseki has said. He has stated it clearly that there's nothing like Ruga. There's no land given to federal government. If they need land, if they want to implement that program, since they said it's just suspended, not cancelled, if they still want to bring it up, at least people are beginning to give them advice on what to do. If really they didn't know what to do, but at least people are beginning to suggest possible places which they can establish this Ruga. Thank you very much for always listening. Put your comments down below. Bye.